Hello class, it's Professor Streeter, and in this video I'm going to look at the personal reflection homework for the first week of the semester and show you how to access it and how to submit your file to the folder. It's a little tricky. It's a new system, so I'm going to show you how to do it. All right, here we go. Let me put myself in the corner. We start here on our home page and go to the content menu. And here in week 1, if you scroll down, we've got the personal reflection on happiness writing assignment that's due next week. I want you to start thinking about it this week, and you can turn it in next week, okay? And it is a personal reflection. The idea is to open up and be authentic. This is my way of getting to know you a little bit, and your way of showing me how you think, how you write. So think about it in that way. You're sort of opening up and sharing something about yourself in this first piece of writing. You can click here, but before I do that, you can scroll down within the week 1 module and you can find the personal reflection external learning tool. The due date, that's February 7th. It's available now, and here are the instructions to write a reflection in response to the prompt. The word limit is an upper limit. I don't want you to write more than that, but aim for around 500 words. If it's a little less, that's okay. And here's the prompt: to think about the life that you are living. Okay? Pretty straightforward, pretty open-ended, right? Big picture. But try to think of your life as a kind of path that you've chosen, something that is yours, you own, that you have taken responsibility for. Think of your life that way. As something that you've chosen, a way of living that you've chosen. And so what does it mean then, the question to think about in the prompt, what does it mean to say that your life aims at happiness? That's one of our big questions we're going to start with, and I'd like you to think about that in your own context. So it's like, here's a metaphor that some of the ancient Greeks used. Consider the way an arrow aims at its target. In that way, I'm aiming my life at happiness. So think about it in that, like, if you can visualize it. I don't know if that helps. For the assignment here, I'd like you to write a story based on your own experience that answers this question in some way, or illustrates how you structure your life in pursuit of happiness. So a story that shows me and shows whoever reads it and shows you, it's a way for you to kind of reflect on yourself here. What does it mean for you to structure your life around the pursuit of happiness? And what's a story that illustrates that or shows that? And then reflect on the story that you've told and try to analyze the concept of happiness that is in the story. What does happiness mean in the context of the story that you've told about your life? Okay? And explain that concept, break it down in as much detail as you can. Give an analysis of the concept of happiness as you use it in your story. Examples would help there. So give some concrete examples that come out of the story that you've told. Okay, so the format here is pretty straightforward, but again, think about structure, paragraph structure. I want to see that you can structure your paragraphs. So introduce the big idea about happiness in one paragraph, tell your story in a separate paragraph or two, and then draw out the implications of your story in the final paragraph. So just think about structure as you write. Aim for double space. It's easier for me to read it that way. And then you are choosing a normal sized font. I give you some examples. You don't have to use sources. This is a story about you. But if you find yourself using sources, just make sure you cite them with bibliographical references. And I've given you, in the student resources, I've given you a link to the citation guide at the library. Now's a good time to familiarize yourself with that. If you don't know how to format sources or you struggle with that, this is something we can work on together. But also you can do some of the work on your own of looking at the citation guide at the PSA library website. It doesn't matter to me if you use MLA or APA style as long as you're consistent. Okay, but again, for this writing, I don't even think you need sources, but if you are using sources, make sure to cite them. Okay, so that's the assignment to turn in next week. But here's how to turn it in. you click this link here, and it will take you to a Turnitin folder. And this is my way of making sure that you're using sources properly. It's also a way for you to gauge it yourself. You can view the Turnitin score to make sure that you're citing your sources properly. Okay. But it's also a folder that will accept your document, and then I can read it and give feedback. I also like this Turnitin folder because I like the feedback studio. I like the way it works. So you would click here to read the instructions for the assignment, to remind yourself of what we just went through. So here are the instructions within the folder, and it gives the start date and the due date. Okay. And to upload your submission, you click here, and then click here, and you can drag and drop a file from your device. So if you have the PDF or the docx file in your downloads, you can drag it over here into the folder, or you can click choose a file, and that will give you the menu of the documents in your download. You open one, click open, and then there it is. And then you upload and review. Okay, I'm not going to click it because I'm not going to upload my syllabus to the personal reflection folder, but you get the idea. Okay, so that's how you submit your homework to these folders. Again, going back here to week 1, you can find the link in the course content module scrolling down here where I showed it to you, the external learning tool. You can also find it, I'll usually link it to the list of assigned tasks for the week. So if you click here, it will take you directly to that folder that we just looked at. Okay. I will typically send you emails each week with a list of assignments for the week. So and there'll be a link in your email. And then I also put it usually in the announcements going over here. So I usually have the links to the assignments in the announcements page. If you scroll down here, there it is. Okay, and there's the link to the personal reflection. Again, that's not due until next week. So I want you to start thinking about your personal story and what it tells us about the way that you pursue happiness in your life, what it means to pursue happiness in your life. Start thinking about the story that you'll tell, and then if you have any questions about it, you can bring them up in discussion or in the class cafe, or send me an email. And then next week is when I'd like to see you start turning it into that folder. Okay, if you have any trouble with any of those things, just reach out to me with the email. I know it's the beginning of the semester, we're just getting the hang of things, okay? So that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.